Hey, what's up everyone, welcome back to another video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about cars that might just be a little disappointing. When they released, they were just a little bit disappointing. There was something wrong with them, and yeah, these are all my opinion. Yeah, let's see what's first. Now, the Xeno, 2.8 billion. I mean, it is a very expensive car, and the things I'm going to say about it are quite pity, but I think you can afford to be, pity because, this car cost 2.8 million. Now, driving this car around normally, it is, it's not terrible, but it does have a bit of weird handling data where the car would flip sometimes, and it would just go on two wheels a lot of times. I'm trying to get it to do it now. I am live commentating. I am trying to get it to do it now. Another thing is the fact that it's got so much torque that it wheel spins a lot, but it's very snappy as well. Like that, it's very snappy. Yeah, it's definitely a car that you don't want to do around short circuits. It's a very long circuit type of car. I don't think it's, right for the street. And especially when you're putting these mirrors on. Now, for some reason, when you put the carbon mirrors on, this car just amplifies all the bad characteristics. And yeah, it multiplies it by a lot. Now, I am saying this is quite petty because it's carbon wing mirrors. It's, if you want to put these carbon wing mirrors on, that's when you'll get the problem for some reason. And carbon wing mirrors for some reason make the physics of this car a bit weird, and I'll try and show you now. Oh there we go. I mean, it's only really when you clip stuff. So if you clip the side of the sidewalk, or you go into a big pothole, which is a weird one. So yeah, especially if you have these carbon mirrors on, this is not a car to use in races. As you see there, it hit that curb like it was a brick wall. Let me just try that again. Yeah, it's really not a good car to use for any race at all. But in my opinion, we've got a lot of cars in the game that handle really well, and sometimes we just it's nice to have a fun car like this which acts a bit weird. But then again, it's 2.8 million, and those people that really want to try hard races don't want, a car that would do this. Now, I know I did say cars in the title, but this is a slam truck. Now, the slam truck, I think we all know the reason this is on the list. I love this thing. It's got, great modifications for a slam truck. Look at it. It's just a big truck. How can you modify it? You can fit it into LSC, and it's got cool details. It's got air ride on it. I mean, it does have air ride, but it really doesn't help out the situation. Like, you could see this 9F trying to struggle to get onto the flatbed. And, yeah, you have to damage your car to get onto it. Which, yeah, they could have worked on that part too. But that's not the part we're complaining about. The main factor of this vehicle is the fact that you can put cars on it. But what is the point if the cars can't stay on? Now, in this video, you can see that on my screen, I thought that the car was staying on. I was like, hang on, I'm complaining about this truck, and the car's actually staying on the back of it, which is weird. But it was just on my screen. It wasn't actually on the back. It fell off at some point. As you can see, it just teleports off. But, when they made a flatbed, everyone was so excited, probably thinking that, it might actually be a flatbed that works, that you can actually put a car on. I just think that this was something they could have done. They didn't do it, and there were other, there were reasons. Like, I know the tow truck that you can get on single player, it used to like freeze other people's PlayStation. I remember when you could glitch it onto PS3, and every time you drove past like a certain player, their application would crash and they'd just completely like leave. It may be something to do with that, but why bring a flatbed that has this feature, has air ride, put the car on, but the car doesn't stay on. All that detail, and then the car doesn't stay on. Yeah, was a great disappointment. Okay, I don't know how many times this has to be mentioned in different videos, and it's how disappointing the drift tamper is. The fact that it has drift in its name, and the fact that it's, it does hardly drifts. It basically handbrakes, and that's all you have. It's a bit ironic because in this gameplay, I am showing a drift tamper that has low grips on it, which is so much better. Normally, the traction is over 3 bars in the LSC, but here it's just 1 and like a quarter bar. It's crazy. They just could have like adjusted the torque. They didn't need to add more power, and this would have been a lot more slidier. But then again, we see what, slidier tires have done, and they've also, made the cars crazy speed. The Drift Yosemite is an improvement. It definitely drives better than this, but that's because it's rear wheel drive. But yeah, all we need is some low grips on these Drift Tampers and we'll be fine. But yeah, I think we all knew the Drift Tamper was going to be on this list. Now, the Jester Classic. A lot of you are probably like, type in a comment now, hello, why have you put this on the list? It's a Jester Classic. It looks amazing. It's got great modifications. And yeah, that is all true. But I think you know the characteristic I'm going to speak about, and it's the handling. The handling on this car is not great at all. It's like the car has no torque. It doesn't step out the way, a Supra should step out. It's very stiff and yeah, very snappy as well. And it's just not got the characteristics of an actual Supra. I would have preferred if, they added the Banshee handling. The handling on the Banshee is great, and even if they just, duplicated onto this car, it'd be way better than it is now. It's way too stiff. It doesn't even double clutch. That's a big factor as well. The fact that, it doesn't clutch kick. And a sports car that, does handle like a sports car, but I think a lot of people wanted to see it handle like the tuner car that the Supra is. I'm sure everyone would have loved it if it just overstayed, way over the top instead of it being straight like a dart like this car is. So what I'm really trying to get at here is, this is a legendary car. Everyone, all the developers and, people who work on vehicles knew that this was a great asset to add into the game. But the fact that they didn't, think maybe a few people might be upset with this, the fact that it doesn't, handle like an actual Supra. Even when you put so much power into it, that, maybe they are adding a legendary car in the game. They should probably try to please everyone. But unfortunately, it was not the case. Now the Tyrant, a vehicle that costs 2.5 million in the game. So it's quite an expensive car. You'd expect it to be, near the top on speed. Not at the top, but, near the top within the speed boundaries of GTA. But, it's no way near the top. And you can see by these clips here, the acceleration on it is not great. Top speed, reasonable for GTA. There's definitely other cars that will easily beat it in the top speed race. But the fact that people, normally use these on free modes, these vehicles, this is one big car. Look at the size comparison between normal other cars. It's a massive car. You think, maybe it's a big car, it has a lot of mass. Maybe it can crash into cars and, they'll go flying. But no, it has the normal vehicle physics. The whole point is, you can modify this car, max it out, and it will look exactly the same as when you bought it. And for GTA streets, which you're using it for mainly all the time, you can't even get away or catch up to, an normal LG that's free. So yeah, that's the reason it's on this list. Now the Tailgater S, a car that I think, has been overlooked because so many great cars came out at the same time on the Tuners DLC. So yeah, the Tailgater S, which is based off the RS3, it's rear wheel drive, and I think that is a big factor. The fact that, this car is famous for being all-wheel drive. The RS3 in real life is, all-wheel drive, like street king, like it beats nearly everything on the street. A vehicle that, is famous for being all-wheel drive and having a great sound. I think they have a great sound in GTA, but it shares it with, the V8s from other vehicles. But yeah, the fact that this is rear-wheel drive is so crazy to me. But, most of these modifications are more aimed towards, JDM tuner builds. And I just think they didn't spend enough time on it. And yeah, this car sits nice and flush, it's great how the wheel fitment is. And then you put those arches on, and the arches are just, yeah, it reminds me of the 190Z, where they just stick out way beyond the body lining. And it just doesn't make for a great look. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And then, yeah, opinions are going to vary on this topic. And some people might say that cars on this list should not have been on this list, and there should be other cars on this list. Let me know what you think, what should be on this list, what shouldn't have been on this list. And yeah, just thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.